Welcome to Bring Out Your Badass Self, a movement to break your negative thoughts and habits and instead focus on building each other up and encouraging fearless authenticity.
Each week, we will get vulnerable and share experiences alongside our guests and audience. Come rediscover your inner badass self.
We would like to start this show by doing a recap of last year. Here are the top 20 most viewed episodes.
The music is Muse Cafe by Buzz Amato off of his album Muse Cafe. Oh, that was so fun. Thank you for putting that together, Sarah. I loved it.
Oh my gosh. I gotta tell you, I had to go through each video and it was like a whole, I was like, oh gosh. I'm like, we talked, oh yeah. It was just going down memory lane of an entire year of the things we talked about. And I gotta tell you, I don't know. I just went back to thinking about all the things we had talked about. And I was like, wow, we have really covered quite a bit. And it just was an amazing time just to go and listen to like little snippets of everything we've done over the year. It was just an amazing experience.
I bet. I can't, like, just watching it was so cool. And seeing like how my background changed through the year, I was like, oh yeah, that's how it looked like. That's what it looked like behind me in the beginning. Like just, you know, and then the one time where I was on location and like all the different things, it was really quite cool. And I really loved it. And I love the faces that you captured, you know, they were great.
I know. And then I was feeling all the emotions again as I was going through each of them. So, like the one where I was crying, I was like, I got to do where I was crying because I was so emotional that episode. And I was like, so I was trying to like get things that captured the essence of the show.
Yeah, totally. I know. I was like, oh, there's my I'm sad, or I'm my empathy face. I was like, like I was like, I want to hug you, and you were crying.
I know. Exactly. So, you know, this past year, the reason we started this was one, to create a movement, but the movement is about being able to support people. And wow, have we really experienced not only supporting people, but people supporting us. And so it has just been an amazing journey. And I want us to sort of reflect a little bit more. Kate, you and I were talking about, as we've been going out and talking to different people, I all of a sudden will have people that all of a sudden will then recognize me. They're like, oh, you're the person that's on that show. And then you're finding out these people that have been watching you, but you didn't even know they were watching you. Or you were talking about them knowing things about your life. And you're like, wait a minute, how does this person know this?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. This has happened twice to me in the past couple months where I'm in a conversation in real life with a, you know, a person that I know or I'm friends with, but I thought that they didn't watch the show because they never told me they did. I don't see their comments or anything, you know. And then one time, like our friend Jamaica was like, well, you know, maybe like she said something about us about surrogacy, and I was like, oh, you know, we had an experience with that. She's like, oh yeah, I know, that's why I'm bringing it up. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And then I was like, did I? And she's like, no, that show, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And then I was talking with another friend, and she was mentioning things about Oscar, and I like knew that I hadn't caught her up, you know. And then the next time I talked to her, she had asked me how something was, and I was like, wait a second, like. And then I you know, I'm like, oh, she must be watching BOYBAS, like.
Yeah. I know. And so it's like people are knowing things about your life that you haven't had a conversation with, but because we're just so vulnerable and talking about these types of things, people are really getting to know us. And I also love the fact we're going to be bringing on some people, and we've really gotten, you know, we've been able to really learn more about other people as well, and the journeys and the things that they have been on. And so it's just been an amazing experience. So one of the things I want to mention is that we are going to be doing a quiz later on about BOYBAS, and we have some lovely badass prizes. So we're going to be giving it to the top 3 people that have the highest scores. And so you'll have to hang on for us to be able to give you that link. So we will be providing that here on the show. So hang on to later on. We'll be doing that. And then one other thing that I found out this morning that we do need to mention, and we want to understand from our audience what you guys think we should do. My understanding is that Facebook will no longer allow us to stream to Facebook from a third-party app. I found this out this morning. They have a 90-day notification. They let people know in January. So I want to know, do you want us to stream to Insta as an example, or maybe TikTok, or, you know, where would you like to see us instead of Facebook? Because if they're not going to allow us to stream, we're going to choose another platform. However, for the people on Facebook that view us there, would you like us to post the link to YouTube or to Insta or something else to be able to still access it from Facebook, but we won't be able to do them live from Facebook? So we're starting this conversation right now, and we're going to talk about it each week, and we want to hear back from people. And so I see lots of comments, by the way.
Yes, tons of comments.
So good morning, my 2 favorite badasses. I have a feeling that might be Carmen.
Yes, good morning.
Mom, she
Hi,
said,
Mom.
howdy. And someone saying, woohoo, let's get the party started. Congratulations on your first of many. And Baba's listening this AM. Hey, good morning, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you.
Kate.
Good morning, Kate.
She says, good morning. Karina, good morning and happy anniversary. We have some other anniversaries, wishes. Oh, that was Jenna.
Yeah.
And Myra. That's awesome. And so Buddy is joining us as well from Dallas. Yay! Good morning. J-Ro is welcome.
J-Ro in the house.
Yeah. And then we also have Carrie. So Carrie, I tried connecting with her this week and things didn't work out, but I'm so glad you're able to be on today. And Karina says Insta is good.
Okay.
Here as well, she said, good morning to my favorite beautiful badasses. And so happy birthday to Kim. Yesterday was her birthday. And so happy birthday to you, Kim. And then, since Facebook is associated to Insta, yeah, I thought about that. And so
they will
post on Facebook, yeah, perfect. So they said they'd follow us anywhere. So that's awesome. And Stephanie's here. Yay! So, well, awesome. So thank you guys so much for coming. One of the other things we wanted to do today is we also have some individuals that have been gracious enough to also provide us video of what they found their experience was with BOYBAS over the years. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up and we will start that first video.
Congratulations to my favorite two beautiful badasses, Kate and Sarah. I can't believe it's been a year already. My favorite thing to do on a Friday morning is to wait for you two to start. It starts early here on the West Coast at 6 a.m. and it's okay because I start at 5. But I look forward to seeing you both. The love that you both have for life, your work, your families, I feel it. And I absolutely love it. I've loved all the different guests that you've had on. Some have made me laugh hysterically. Some have made me cry. I honestly think I was born a badass, and sometimes I feel like I have forgotten that. But I'm reminded every Friday to straighten that crown and to bring out my badass self. And I thank you both, and I wish you two the most love, life. You two are amazing, and I love you both. Congratulations.
Oh,
thank you, Carmen.
yeah.
Carmen, you are a badass. And so thank you so much for being a part of this. I also just want to thank you so much for your support, not only with this, but just in life. So thank you for being an amazing friend and for also providing us that video of your thoughts. And so we also have people here today. So let's go ahead and bring some individuals up to the stage. Yay. Welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to say, Carmen's already made the tears start flowing. So I don't know.
I know. All right.
Thanks, Carmen.
I want to start off with some introductions. And so maybe Kate, can you start with Renee and we'll just alternate and how we know these individuals, how they got involved in things. And then maybe we could start with understanding also what was your favorite episode, if you could also add that to it. So Kate, do you want to start?
Yeah, definitely. So I have the pleasure of introducing Miss Renee Davidson. Renee, we know Renee because we all work together. So Renee worked for Deltec, and Full Sail Partners is a Deltec partner. So Renee actually managed that relationship between us as the partner and the reseller and the service provider, back to the software provider, which was Deltec. So my favorite thing about Renee is how absolutely welcoming and amazing she is. And she always brings some sunshine to any conversation that we ever had with her. Like when we would have her on our monthly meetings, and those are my favorite meetings, the ones when she would come, because she just adds such a lovely element. Renee is just amazing to work with. And so she recently moved on, and we're super sad, but I am psyched that she has been involved in BOYBAS from the beginning and is just one of our best cheerleaders. So without you, Renee, this would have been really hard to start in the beginning. Like, it was so great to have your support.
Well, I love you, Kate, and I love you, Sarah. And it's such an honor for me to be here today. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, and happy anniversary. It's been a wild 1 year and you guys are killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite episode?
So my favorite episode, which I cried through the whole thing, was your very first guest, which was Emily Pearson, who talked about her healing journey and
Emily Penton,
her depression. And I think that really hit home for me. I have a very close family member who also suffers from depression, and it's not something that is really accepted by a lot of people, right? Most people think, oh, you just snap out of it. You can go get a job. You can live your life. You can do this. And so when Emily shared her story with us, it really gave me hope. I mean, she struggled a lot, and I know that a lot of people struggle with it, but it was just so beautiful to hear Emily's story and to hear how she has, changed her life. And it was just an amazing one. But on top of that, Sarah, I don't know if you shared this on BOYBAS, but I think it might have been a post that you made. And this really hit me hard. So I want to share it with everyone. And it's, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living in the present.
Yeah.
And that just, I wish someone said that to me 20 years ago, right? Because it's so true. We often have a hard time just living in the moment. And like, I hope that touches everybody the way that it touched me, because it really changed my life. And joining you guys every Friday, and I know I haven't been here every Friday. My dad passed away in October, and it kind of put me on the, I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be a badass. I don't want to be anything. But now I'm back. I'm back being a badass. And so I think that I would love to see Emily again and see how she's doing. So
okay. Maybe we can wrap that question into this as well, like people that you would also like to see again. And so well, I would like to introduce Lori. And so Lori actually joined us. Oh, I got a little bit of back feedback. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And so Lori, we actually we were introduced to her when we brought Lori Brown onto the show. And so she came on, and so that was a giving heart that she came on that episode. And that's when I was really introduced to Lori. So Lori is actually works with Lori Brown in really giving back and helping people. And so we've continued to connect through that. I continue to watch the amazing things that they are doing, a part of their organization, and the things that she is doing. So she has really just a heart of gold as well. And so, Lori, it has been amazing to have you along with us in this journey. And so maybe you can also just tell us a little bit about, your first thoughts as you started to watch us, and then maybe what you have found so far to be your favorite episode.
Yeah, well, of course, the episode with Lori Brown was my favorite episode.
Yeah.
I actually learned quite a few things about her that I never knew before. So that was really awesome. And I already knew she was a super badass, but then to learn all the things that I learned, like, just knocked it out of the park for me. So, but yeah, so I think that was early December, and I have been following you closely since, and it's just been awesome. I love every week. I really there's been a few times I've had to watch replays, but I really look forward to like the Friday morning. It like kicks the weekend off right, and it's just been awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, we've loved your input and your engagement, Lori. Like, it's been so wonderful. Like, as soon as like the first week after Lori's, I was like, oh, did you see, like, Lori is here? And then like we just kept coming back, and I was like, not only is she here, but she's like super active.
Yeah,
so that's been amazing. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Do we want to go with Bruce?
Yeah. So Bruce, and then, having online friends, I'm not even quite sure how to pronounce your last name. Is it Gemel or Gemel? Gemel. Okay, good. All right. So Bruce works in the AEC industry. He works in construction, like many of us do. So Sarah, Maria, myself, Bruce, Renee, like we are all tied to the AEC industry in one way or another. So Bruce is incredibly thoughtful, compassionate guy, very smart, and has us always thinking with his posts, and his comments. He loves the color purple, and he's got a sweetheart named Julie, and he's willing to share and be vulnerable all the time. And I just really enjoy Bruce. So thank you so much for being here, Bruce.
And I have to say, Bruce has been a champion really from the beginning.
Yes.
And so I really have appreciated him, and I have chatted offline. I connected to him through Jen and Jess, which really were the inspiration for me and why it is we started this show. So I do want to also mention them, because had it not been for me seeing their show, the spark and the idea wouldn't have come. And it was also a little amazing at how quickly, whenever I started to reflect upon how quickly we started the show, it was on January 21st of 2023 that I came to Kate with the idea, and we launched on March 17th. And so this really was something that just steamrolled and immediately became an episode. And right from the beginning, as Bruce started to watch some of the episodes, he would be mentioning, on the Jen and Jess show, he was like, oh man, you got to watch these two kids that were talking about fear and like all these different types of things. And just the insights that he would bring just really amazed me. And he also challenges me with words that I don't know. And so I appreciate that from him. So Bruce, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe what your favorite episodes, things, people you would like to see back as well?
There was so many, because when you asked that question, I kind of started thinking about which one. I can't have a favorite. What's interesting was, like, there were ones that stood out. Chris Schindler was one. Dr. Debbie was one. Monique was an incredible character. She was just one of the most extraordinary people I think I've ever come across in my life. Thomas talked a lot about his own vulnerability, his struggles, which was really, really amazing, because he was really calm and comfortable about it. The one with the fear, with the gymnastics and stuff, was pretty extraordinary to have, to kind of see how, people kind of fight through that. One of the ones you didn't have on your favorites, or maybe I missed it, was the Halloween episode. I mean, that was like, I don't know how that didn't make the top 20. Was that on there? I missed it.
It wasn't. It was not one of the top ones.
That's a top 5 at least. I mean, because that was like, you had all the mysteries, and you had the trying to find out who was which one, and it would that honestly, I don't know that if I had a favorite one, maybe that was it. Because also you had all the family together,
Yeah.
and you had all the clues, and the clues were hysterical. I mean, but
I think we may need a Halloween redo and
I
like
think so. I think that
yeah,
should
I
become.
think
And again, you
yeah,
didn't, like when you guys do the shooting the shit stuff,
love it.
that's also the kind of thing because I think one of the things that helps with people when they want to be vulnerable is you go off script. I think a lot of times I find that when you're talking specifically about a topic, it's easy to just get focused on the ideas. But when you're just kind of ad-libbing and you're just speaking, a lot of times that's when you have the chance to do your best work because you kind of find yourself putting yourself in positions you weren't prepared for.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why you guys are such a good team because like Sarah prepares and Kate does.
Yeah.
And I think
as we witnessed this morning.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that kind of happens. I mean, Kate keeps Sarah uncomfortable because she's like, she's not ready, she's not prepared. And Kate's like, I don't know where this is going. And the two of them work so well to kind of keep the dynamic. I wonder, the two of you are better together.
So true.
Agreed.
So true.
Yeah, we are really compatible because of those differences.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that is one of the things that I think is an important point is so many times we look for someone like ourselves when in actuality, it's the people that are different than us that make us actually grow because they make us uncomfortable. So this morning, Kate didn't have any of the background set. I come, I'm done, I'm ready. And Kate is like, okay, I'm putting, finally getting the streamers, I'm blowing up the balloons.
And what was amazing was, I don't know if everyone else did, but I got a chance to watch Sarah's face while she watched Kate climb on the table.
Yeah.
It was completely backwards to the camera. And Sarah's like, I could see in your eyes there was this fear of like, this is not going to go off. It's not gonna go off.
I don't have that fear because I know Kate will get it all together. It's just like Maria, who we're about to talk to. I told her, I said, I know I can. So I think people that have anxiety, I don't think I have anxiety, but I just sort of go, well, we're just going to deal with it. We're going to roll with the punches. But I just, sort of look at things and go, you know what, here we go. And I said to Maria, I knew that in a past episode that I had done with her, she came on time. So I was prepared for her just to come on time versus be ahead. So I was like, hey, she's here earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
So with that, let me introduce Maria. So Maria, the Procore lady. And so Maria, so I was introduced to Maria as well through Jen and Jess. And Maria, I told her in a post that I sat there and I observed Maria at first. I was like, this person's interesting. And so I sit there and she is so bubbly, but she's also just so, I don't know, the best way I can describe it is sometimes she doesn't really answer the question. And I'm like, I want her to get deeper. I'm like, get deeper, girl. And then we went to a reciprocal retreat together and I got to really get to know Maria so much more. And so what I told Maria is that people that don't take the time to really get to know people, sometimes they miss out on some really amazing people. And so for me, it was also just a lesson to also just continue to observe people and continue to find the different things that bring the magic out in them. And so sometimes you have to be a little bit more patient to really get to know some people. Sometimes people aren't as out there as me. And so I really have enjoyed getting to know Maria. She is a beautiful soul. And I have just really appreciated learning more about her and her getting more vulnerable as time has gone on. So Maria, welcome to the show. Do you want to add a little bit about your favorite episodes, a little bit about what your experience has been?
Yeah, let's try it. So I'm with Bruce. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite, right? And then also I'm really thankful and appreciative to be here. So thank you guys for including me and congratulations. That's a big milestone to stick with it and keep going. For me, I think the underlying theme of why I keep coming back is because of the things that you guys are willing to talk about out loud.
Yeah.
Right. So I loved the Thomas LeMay episode. I love Anywhere Jesse Goes. So that was always a good time. And then a few other topics that are just, we'll say, maybe previously taboo, but you're fleshing them out and talking about them in a beautiful way with beautiful people. And so it kind of helps change that narrative of where everybody maybe grew up instead of where we are today.
Well said.
And I'm glad you stuck in there because it's only a resting bee face, right?
Oh no, I never thought that. I just was like, I want you to get deeper. I'm like, why won't she get deeper?
Oh, well, it depends on where you are. And so what I've learned mostly is that you can go too deep, right? Like, because you can only meet somebody or somebody can only meet you as far as they've met themselves.
Yeah.
And so I know where I've met myself and where I'm continuing to try to go. And so I try to curtail, like everything that comes out of my mouth is tailored for that person I'm speaking to.
So very strategic.
It is. Yeah, but it's more of like compassion instead of like trickery.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's like that. So if you ever do want me to go deeper, you just have to ask. And then you better be ready for the answer.
I love it.
I'm ready, girl. I'm ready. Let's keep going. All right. I'd like to play two videos of other individuals that have joined us along the way. And so let's get started. This is, I believe, Jennifer.
I have known Sarah for a lot of years. And so when I seen the podcasts, I was very excited. And I love that I can also view them after, even though I miss being on there and watching it live. But Sarah has always had a very strong personality. And so I love that her and Kate tackle the strong topics. And it has helped me learn that it's okay to be me, to be strong, to own who I am and what I am. And I also learned that in the end of 21 into 22, we did kidney cancer and I had my right kidney removed in February of 22, and then discovered breast cancer and had my breast cancer surgery in September and did radiation November to December of 22. And the battle continues because it's not a one and done. You get many relationships with many doctors for several years that they don't tell you about. And it puts life in perspective for you, how important it is, what's important, and how strong you can be, as my daddy would say, when the rubber hits the road. So I love Sarah and Kate's podcast. I love watching, and I look forward to seeing it for several more years. Congratulations, ladies, on making it to your 1 year anniversary. It's such an amazing program.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer has continued. I didn't realize sometimes the impact that I had on her. I had no idea because Jennifer and I were not close in high school. Like, we knew each other, and I just really have continued to try to encourage her to, she is discovering and continuing to discover her inner badass. And so I have enjoyed being, I guess, a lot of times you need the reflection that you need within yourself. And so I have been glad that I've been able to do that and show her how much of a badass she is. All right.
Yeah, it was a great video. I was just amazed by how much she's going through right now. And then she shows up all the time, and she's ready to comment and cheer us on, and it's been great.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to play Eric, and then we'll get back to the group. Here we go.
Well, good, badass morning. My whole life, weeks have typically begun on Mondays. For the last year with Kate and Sarah, my weeks have begun on Fridays with Bring Out Your Badass Self. The rawness of your discussions remind me that we're all on this journey together. I want to thank you for the past year. Ladies, stay strong, stay confident, and stay inspired.
Aw, I love Eric. It's such, like, he's been such a consistent audience member as well. So
Yeah. Looks like we lost Maria. She'll be back, I'm sure.
But we have another friend up with us.
So
yes.
JJ,
Oh, yes.
so JJ wanted to join because you can never learn too young how to bring out your bad bum self, right?
bad.
That's awesome. And so, well, I also
Maria's
just
back.
wanted to reflect on Eric as well. So Eric, I was able to connect with him through a SMPS event, and he was bringing out his Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We were talking about women in history, and so he had a Ruth Bader Ginsburg necklace as he was talking about her, and he's just amazing. And so I really just enjoyed seeing him again in person, and he has some amazing things that they're looking to do within their organization as well. So for people that don't know, it's a marketing organization to the AEC industry. And they're going to be doing some leadership things. So they're looking for leaders to be able to talk about different topics or help people to become leaders. So I'm really excited about that adventure that he is going to be going down as well. All right. So I want to come back to our group here and ask you a couple of other questions. So if you could change anything or improve the show, what would it be?
I'd say I wouldn't change anything. You two keep going as you are. But Sarah, I need you to bring some more singing back. I need to hear that voice.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
I do. I quite love it. I'll have to say it was a little strange the first time that I had that you guys like started with a song, and I was like, oh, okay, we're different. And now I think it was the last one. Was it the jazz guy?
Yeah.
That was like, I mean, besides crying, I was like loving it. So it was good. Sometimes I don't cry. I don't want to scare anyone off.
There are times when I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have like a sing time, or maybe like, basically even a sing along.
Yes, Bruce. Great idea. Maybe we should start now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Renee loves to sing.
No,
we
I'm
actually
joking.
have been talking about singing together. So
I've warned people, if you want me to sing, it's really, you ask for it. I mean, but I'm willing to give it a try. But I mean, honestly, as the one boy on the BOYBAS panel, I wonder if that's just something that we as boys are not as likely to do. When I'm around Julie and her friends or other girls, there's just this thing where they just absolutely out of nowhere, they'll just like burst into song. We don't do that.
it's
We
We fight. We'll punch each other or kind of like kick each other. You guys like burst into song.
That's true.
So
Well, I
Carrie
feel like, I know
Carrie
for
said-
me, like everything in life relates back to a song. Like you can find a song that goes with anything that's happening.
Yes. Yep.
So
Well,
Carrie said, as someone who can't carry a tune in a bucket, I'll be happy to listen.
I remember like Mr. Rogers used to have his song. I remember I used to watch him on Fridays too. So this kind of reminds me of that. So like I remember his like Mr. And he wasn't a great singer, but I just love that song.
It's a
it's like
beautiful day in the neighborhood.
a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Would you be mine?
Would you be mine? I love that song. I mean, you guys need a theme song.
Well, we have our opening song.
We have our opening song.
You should sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that because I mean, you guys are all there's just this spontaneity in the group where like you just kind of have to. That's a great idea. Whose idea was that with the song?
That
Was
was
that
me.
Renee?
Oh,
Renee was.
bring
Oh,
back.
was it like
I was just saying, let's bring
Yeah.
it back. Yes.
I like it. Lori, what are your thoughts? What would you do to improve?
I agree with Renee. Like, I think it's awesome. I love the authenticity, the going where a lot of people don't go, as far as talking about things that we're all probably thinking about and dealing with, but it's like taboo to talk about. And so I love that you aren't afraid to talk about all of those things. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Maria, what you think?
It got loud for a minute, so I was trying to mute out the background noise. Yeah, so sorry, Panera friends. So I think for me, as long as I'm with Lori, any kind of taboo topics or things that would be considered taboo. I kind of hate to use that word because it's 2024. I did have to check real quick right there in the corner. But you know, if they wouldn't talk about it when you were younger, then talk about it out loud. So that's what I keep coming back for. Yes.
Yeah. So more of those topics that we're willing to kind of expose and talk about.
Yeah, out loud in public. That's just what I'm here for. I love it all the time. If I were going to give you some like breadcrumbs to kind of go towards, it would be more topics inside mental health. Right. So maybe different things that people like. I know we talk a lot about, or just, people in general, like it's kind of okay now to say, well, it was an abusive household or toxic household. Some people like that word better because they don't, abuse is kind of a scary legal word. But if you say toxic, then people are like, yeah, it was kind of toxic. Right.
Yeah.
But what we don't talk about is how people who grew up in those types of environments often have CPTSD. And so that's and it can affect a lot of things in your adult life that you may not have known about, right? Like indecision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to do more of that as well. So thank you, Maria. I think that's super important.
I'm going to play Carrie, and then let's, so Carrie, I'm going to bring her video on, and then let's go back to this topic of topics we haven't covered that you would like us to consider. So Maria's sort of hitting up on that, but let's circle back to this. So let's go here real quick.
Hey ladies, I just wanted to take a minute and let you know that it has been an incredibly insightful journey over the past year with BOYBAS, creating a space for exploration, introspection, sharing insights, all of those things. It's provided me tremendous insight to me personally, wonderful insight in terms of interpersonal relationships, exposed me to some new ways of thinking, showed me some additional new poets that I've done some research on. I just have to say thank you for bringing us your particular brand of magic in the format that is BOYBAS. Here's to many more years.
Thank you, Carrie.
All right, let's bring everybody else back up.
Yeah.
All right, so topics we haven't covered that you want, and I want to hear from the audience as well. So topics that we haven't covered that you still want to have covered.
So I think what might be really fun to do, you have a lot of people who have been through this journey with you for the past year who attend every week. And we all join BOYBAS for different reasons, right? Whether we think we're badasses or we want to be badasses or we need you to tell us we're badasses. For one reason or another, we join. It would be kind of fun to hear from some of your audience that attends frequently, have them on and learn a little bit more about why they join. Do they, how do they bring out their best badass self? I think that's really fun to hear.
Yeah. So interview some of our regular audience members. Yeah. If you are down for that or interested, let us know.
Let us know.
Yes, please. Like Renee, can you?
Yeah.
Colin told you. This is your idea. You're in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'll go first. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I would do it too.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. I would love that.
What other topics? Lori, what do you think?
I think delving, for me personally, just because of where I am in my life, into like what people call a midlife crisis, but I choose to call more a midlife awakening because I don't feel like it's a crisis. Like that gives such a negative connotation. It's actually waking up and realizing like, hey, I don't need to be on this hamster wheel anymore. And let's see what life really is about. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now. So that would be like, that's important to me. It would be really interesting to talk to some people who have been through this and maybe changed careers, maybe changed lifestyle, you know, that kind of thing. That's very interesting to me. And then the other thing, that's already been mentioned, but just delving deeper into mental health issues, because even though I feel like the topic is definitely more talked about, but I feel like it's superficially. I feel like it still is not acceptable to ask for. People still feel like, you know, you ask for help, it means you're weak, and especially with men.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
But I feel like that's definitely something that mental health could delve into even more deeply.
Yeah. So next week we're actually going to have Matt Ole, I think is how you pronounce his last name, and he's going to be talking about sort of evolving masculinity and the experiences that he has gone through and sort of the awakening that he has had and the treacherous path that he went down and where he's at now. So, and how he's continuing to evolve and really evolving masculinity. So a lot of people call it toxic masculinity, but we're trying to keep away from that particular term just because in a lot of ways it's a labeling. And so we really want to talk about more the behaviors and the things that he did, and then how he's changing those particular behaviors versus trying to label him. So that was also something that was important to him as we were looking at advertising that. So be sure to look out for that. We're going to advertise that. He's going to be next week. So I love that. So
great.
Maria,
And
what do you think?
Oh, I was going to say, I love a good relabeling, right? So one word, and it may not be any better, but I would like to share it, is distorted, right? So, and I'll use it in the opposite way, distorted feminine energy, right? So it's that you still have that feminine energy, but it's distorted because of who knows what that you got to find out.
Right. A little better than it has less of a negative connotation to it, right?
Yeah.
It still represents what, you know, what you need it to represent, right?
Yeah. Bruce, what do you think?
Innocence.
Innocence.
Yeah, I kind of think that one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately is the fact that we assume that innocence deals with inexperience, and we feel that, like, we think of innocence, we think of children, or we think of people who are, you know, not in the regular rat race. But I think one of the things I find, and I remember reading this in a book by Dostoevsky, where he had a character, and the main character was innocent in spite of severe experience. And when I think of Monique, one of the things that was amazing about Monique was she has actually maintained that childlike innocence in spite of incredibly harsh circumstance. Most people, when they're confronted by harsh circumstance, become bitter. And they become jaded and they become dark. But I think one of the things that you guys do is you encourage that innocence to be able to have a place to live in spite of the experience that can break you down. So I'd say that innocence in relation to experience is like almost like a common theme for what you do, but maybe you should identify and talk about it specifically.
I like that. We'll have to dive in and think about that.
Yeah, I love that.
We all kind of went, ooh, when you said that word, Bruce. So,
well, like for me,
one of the things that, you know, you talk about, people talk about age and this and that and struggles. But I find that, like, one of the things that happens is there's that natural recovery. There was also a woman who had a tragic, she had a circumstance with her daughter. I can't remember her name.
Lee Ross Power.
Yes. And
That was one of my favorites.
Oh man, that was so difficult. And she talked specifically about the way she detached and came back, and that she could maintain herself and maintain that ability to still see progress and hope in spite of all the things that happened to me. It's like, wow. And the thing is, those are the lessons. I mean, when you talk about the movement of BOYBAS, maybe the movement of BOYBAS is that idea to show people how to retain their innocence and their forward motion in spite of harsh and extreme experience.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
shit, Bruce. I really
Right
like
on.
that.
Yeah, me too.
I know. And it really is a lot of times, I call it an unlearning, that a lot of times we start out very innocent. And when we then learn we are distorted, if we go back to Maria's word, we are now distorted in our view of things. And so we have to spend some time sort of going back and unlearning the things that we learned, the biases, the not loving ourselves, all of those types of things that really evolve around unlearning a lot of the things that we have been taught in life. I love that topic.
And stickers. We need stickers.
Stickers.
Stickers or buttons.
I got it. Yeah. I can easily
have your
do that.
t-shirts and stuff and your shirts and stuff, but we need to have, we need to be identified. So many people right now are trying to hide, but we need to kind of have maybe not some full-fledged swag, but buttons, stickers, something, it's like, so that we can basically kind of be out there. It's like, you don't know about BOYBAS? You don't know about this thing? It's like, you gotta get down with this.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, if you all will give me your shirt size, I will get you a BOYBAS shirt. And so as a thank you for being on the show, so let me know what size you are. And I'll also be showing you some things here in a little bit that actually are related to the prizes as well. So I would like to go ahead and play another video, and then can we come back and talk a little bit about guests? So you guys have started to do this, but guests you might want to come back and maybe interview. Or one of the things I was thinking is maybe we should do short videos of where are they now, or like recap videos. So, so think about that. Let's play the next video, and then we'll then talk about that. So here we go. This is my mother, Sandy. Oh, no, it's
Sarah, Kate, congratulations on a year of live streaming. I absolutely love the show. Keep continuing to do what you're doing, and remember to always bring out your badass self. Peace.
That's awesome. All right, so let me remove that real quick, and let me see real quick whether this is it or not. No? Okay, hang on one second. I'll have to go in and...
I'm glad you're doing that. Can I just say, so
perfect.
Sandy, Sarah's mom, has been a regular, audience member and participant. And when we were talking about, people that we may want to ask, I brought her up, and Sarah's response was, "You mean my mom?" Yes. And then she sent the video, and it's just perfect.
Oh, sorry. Let me back it up a little bit. So here that is.
Take number 562,000. Hello, I'm Sandra, aka Sarah's mom. I have my phone alarm set for 8 a.m. every Friday morning. Hopefully, I have it together by 9:30 a.m. Kate and Sarah put much effort and thought into creating these mornings together. They welcome knowledgeable guests who give you a glimpse of the corporate world, to the make you think world, or make you cry world, and even the music world. I enjoy the opportunity to add my 2 cents to the topic, as you can also. 10:30 usually comes too soon. If you miss a Friday, it can be watched later, and I do that. Looking forward to Friday.
She's so
So
cute.
I do want to take just a moment to just be a little bit more vulnerable with this, with my mom. And so my mom, I want to be very vulnerable with you guys. My mom and I have been continuing to work on a relationship. My mom, as I grew up, was the person that I saw as the strongest person ever. And I think one of the key things to understand is that sometimes the strongest person, a lot of times, is the person that has also dealt with a lot of things in their life that has made them sometime appear strong. And so as I continued to grow and sort of learn more, about my mother, one of the things that I really appreciated is her vulnerability as we grew. We always were very open in the struggles and the things that she dealt with. That really set me down the path. So I just want to take a moment just to acknowledge her, that had it not been for her and the strength that she showed me, and demonstrating to both my sister and I to be strong women, to be independent women, whether she felt like she was that or not, she showed me how to be that myself. And so I just want to take a moment that she hears this, that she knows that because of her, I am who I am today because of her. So I just want her to know that. And that I love you, and that we are continuing to redefine our relationship. And that a lot of times is what we also have to do with family members that we have been pulled apart from. A lot of times we have to rebuild, and it'll never be the same, but it can be better.
Beautiful, beautiful, Sarah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Sarah.
Yes.
I know you guys have, if any two women can rebuild or even strengthen an already beautiful relationship, it's you two, because you both have been through so much, but you also are like such hard workers, and you have so much love to give. Like, it just oozes out of you, right? So, just keep on loving yourselves and each other, and there's no stopping you, right? Because you were born a badass because you were made by a badass.
Right. That's right. And what I do want to,
I hope she hears that.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And I want you guys to hear this too, is that for anyone who's able to raise, that's one of my favorite words, not like raise up, but raise down, right? In construction. So if you can raise something and rebuild it, you're very brave, and it takes a lot of courage and dedication, and it's awesome. So, boop.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I'd like to play our last video, and then let's also talk about the interviews the second time. And I know, Renee, you have a hard stop. So if you're needing to drop, we understand. And so we wanted to just thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And so let's play the last video that we have, which is Amy, who has been a fierce individual that has supported us from the beginning. So here's Amy.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Kate. Greetings from your southwestern stalker. I wanted to wish you all a very happy 1-year anniversary. Huge congratulations to you both. I am your fan who watches after the fact. I get up a little bit later, getting ready for work and so forth. But I love to end my Friday, my work week, with your show. I love to see what you guys are doing. And I have to say that out of all the shows, I can't pick just one. I love them all. What I love the most is the vibe. I love seeing how happy you guys are doing this. I love seeing everybody's different stories. I even love shoot the shit. I love it all. And to end a Friday on that note just makes me feel high, makes me feel like I've found my people. And I just love connecting with that energy because you gotta live your badass self, right? So congratulations. I'm so happy to be a part of your journey, and I look forward to many more shows. Bye.
I love Amy.
I know. I love Amy so much.
All right. So people you'd like to see again, or people you haven't seen, or people that you just like to get a recap of where are they now? So Lori, let's start with you. What are your thoughts?
I would love to have Lori Brown back on. She continues to do amazing things and actually is in the process of building even bigger and better things to help people. So I would love to have her back on, even just if we did like a Where Are They Now type thing. I think that would be really awesome.
I like that. And so one of the things that has been, I guess, eye-opening for me as I continue to do this is that every time we would have someone on, for whatever reason, things that they started talking about that they had never talked about with anybody, that they were talking with us about, all of a sudden it gave them further ideas and further direction a lot of times into where it is that they were going to continue their badassery. And so I just loved watching that. And Lori, that was one of the things she was like, it was because of your show that I'm going to be doing something. And so I was like, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's amazing. And I want, I mean, a lot can happen in a year or 6 months or anything, but I would love to see Lori again for sure.
Yeah. And I didn't think she could get any more badass because she already works so tirelessly, but she's ready to kick it up a notch. So
that's awesome. Marie, I'm going to take you off mute. What do you think? Oh, I can't unmute you. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Okay. I'm trying to be respectful to everyone.
Yeah,
you're doing great.
So it's hard. Thank you for that encouragement. Can you remind me of the question real quick? I lost it.
Yeah. So guests that you would like to see again, or recap, or
yeah, I haven't. I just have to pick on somebody because I haven't seen Jen.
I actually have her on my list of people, and so it's all about timing, I think. So
okay, awesome for that
I agree with you.
Yes, and then has Bruce done one? Because I think someone was mentioning it earlier. Like Bruce always is just like, it doesn't matter what comes out of his mouth. I'm just like, I have to sit for a minute. And I'm like, what do you think about that, right? And so it's always really, thought provoking. I'd love to see Thomas LeMay again. I'm excited about Matt. Who else? I'll have to think about that. And I love the idea of where are they now, right? Especially from some of the more emotional side guests. I don't know how to properly say that right now. But like, hey, how's it going now? Right.
And sometimes after you expose yourself in a public platform, you deal with some like consequences, sometimes from like outside pressure, but it can
results.
And it can be also just like an internal, like you just released something, and then how does it feel after you've done that? So I'd like to know as well, like, how was it after, knowing that you can go back and watch an episode of yourself talking about this really intense stuff. What does that bring to your life?
Yeah. What's that like for you? How's it changed your journey? What kind of things have you done because of that?
Right. Yeah.
Well, Bruce, your name was mentioned. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd love to. I mean, I kind of feel that one of the things that's a difficult place for me is engagement. I feel as if like I like to engage deeply and intensely. And there's very few places I've been able to do that. And I think this is one of the places where I feel as if like you guys really create the opportunity because of the people that you are to allow that to take place. And I didn't see Lori's friend, so I have to go back and watch that. But I mean, I think having her back, but I mean, it's been talked about, and being the person I am, I have to say that I think, you seem to want to talk to Maria Martin about the idea of depth in conversation. So that's a program I would come and see.
Ooh,
So,
Maria, you're being called out.
no, I mean, honestly, I honestly think that, I think I love Maria's character, but I mean, I kind of, I don't know Lori as well. And but I mean, I think the three of you guys, you all have incredibly intense, but playful, but adventurous attitudes towards life.
Yeah.
And, at one moment, it's kind of like, it's like playing with a tiger. You're playing with a tiger, and at one moment it's a pussycat. The next minute you're on your back and it's got its paw on your throat. And you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. And I think that potential is what you bring out in people, because you have it in yourself, because we're not all simple, easy, go along. The idea is people try to sanitize themselves for public consumption. But the reality is we're full of rage, we're full of pain, we're full of torment, we're full of fear, we're full of all these things. And, that vulnerability that we speak about, a lot of people talk about it, but you guys actually do it. You actually kind of say, like, you don't censor. There's so much censorship that's going on right now. And the self-censoring, as I think you guys are the antidote to that. You guys are like, well, you know what? Let's go there. You hear that phrase like, oh, don't go there. You guys are like, why not?
Yeah, let's try it.
Maybe that should be your t-shirt. Like, well, let's go there.
Yes.
Like,
let's go there.
I like to go there.
That's the epitome of badass. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, let's go there. You guys aren't afraid. You guys are not afraid. You're like, yeah, okay, let's go there. Let's go. And I like that. I love that part.
I think the key thing with going there, though, is that what I also have been saying to myself is go there, but go there with love. Like, as long as what you're saying is with love, then go there. Like, if you're, sometimes I think things and I have to like stop. I'm like, nope. I'm like, like I'm being not the badass, that I want to be. And so I think that's important as well in your mind. Like, are you doing this, let's go there, but go there in love.
Well, yeah, I think that's something you guys do. I mean, you just kind of went to an incredibly deep, dark place with your mom in front of anybody who just happened to be here. And I mean, that shows an incredible strength and an incredible courage and an incredible love. I mean, you said we're not perfect, we're working through issues, but we are kind of setting this as a priority for our life.
Yeah.
It's important. Yeah.
And I like that too, Bruce, the antidote to self-censorship. Like that needs to be a catchphrase for you.
Yeah, I agree. Like there's so many things that people are kind of like, and I mean, one of the things that happens, because a lot of us are in the business of construction, and if there's one thing that we don't do is talk about the things we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you guys are like, well, let's go there.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's go there. And
so, Lloyd, I wrote that down. Antidote to self-censorship. That sounds like a topic.
It dodoes. And there's more that we want to talk about. There's more here that we want to uncover, and more topics that we have.
Yeah.
To bring it.
And I think one of the things that's good is, there's a topic, and then there's the people who are capable of doing it. So I think, the question was, what topics would we like to see more of, or what topics we'd like to see?
And
my answer, which is kind of not a direct answer, is you guys are capable of asking any question and going after any topic within a broad range of topics. So I think it's just a question of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love that, Bruce.
I love you guys.
Well, I'm also very excited to bring in Pardeep Kalik. So he's going to be talking about the rise of hate and also the healing aspect of it and his experience with actually those types of things. And so this goes back to maybe some of the things that Carrie was mentioning earlier on topics she would like to see. Because as we start to think about the election as an example, there has been a lot of hate over the years. And so, there's hate in the world. And so how do we heal as a society? For me, that is probably the most important thing, because I said to myself, I looked at what it is that we could do, and the only thing that we can do is impact the people around us. I can't do anything about the people thousands of miles away. I can only impact the people that I know. Then those people impact, and as Jen Lacey would say, ripples, the ripple effect. I impact one person, another person impacts another person. And Lori, a part of her group, that's some of the things they see. They have individuals that need help, then those individuals end up coming back and helping. And so if we think about that, that is a lot of what it is that we're also doing. And so Jen and Jess impacted us. Now we're impacting other people, and that ripple effect continues. So
I love it.
Yeah.
When we started this, we thought, if we can help just one person, then it's worth it, because we knew we were going to have a good time, and we knew that our authenticity, it means something to us too. Being able to be vulnerable and put yourself out there it's empowering to yourself, right? It's validating to everyone else, right? It's really helpful for other people to see, or it gives them insights, or there's all these other amazing kind of after effects. But it also feels really good to just let yourself be yourself and be out loud with it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring up Karina's. Then we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to show you the quiz information for you to win a prize. And so, Karina, I thought this was great. She says, today's episode is 51, and in numerology, it represents optimism, enthusiasm, and positivity. These are the things that both of you bring with your podcast. Continue doing it and help discover us. Help discover us, our inner selves. P.S. And these therapies are cheaper. So, yay.
I love that.
So it is funny. I have looked back on our shows, and it's funny how some of the numbers equated to things. So, for example, episode 13 was on fear. And so it was one of the things that I looked at. And so, like 44 was unleashing. And so I was looking at some of the numerology and some of the shows and the topics. And so Karina, I appreciate you sharing that. I love that. And so I didn't think about today being 51 and then that being equated with that. So let's take a look at some of the quiz questions and some of the prizes. So if you have paid attention over the seasons or the episodes, or even if you haven't, we actually gave you a little bit of a clue at the very beginning. And so I'd like to go ahead and bring this up. So here we go. So we're going to test your knowledge. These are in the quiz, the questions. Here are the prizes, and you'll notice that I have branded BOYBAS, and so we can even send you a coffee mug, for example, with your name on it. And so my daughter is already asking me for the stuffed animal, but they have the BOYBAS logo. So Kate's asking me for the beanie.
Yeah.
So these are some of the prizes that you can win. I will post this link. So you guys can take it. You have until Wednesday to take it. But some of the questions, I'm just going to ask them, and you guys can think about it, or you can answer it if you think you know, but that could increase someone else's chances. So some of the questions are, what episode was the most watched on LinkedIn?
Wow.
So then we have, what is the episode was the most watched on YouTube?
So you have to think about the different platforms.
Mm-hmm. And then this one should be easy if you paid attention at the beginning. What episode was ranked number 2 overall?
Oh, I missed that.
And then how many times were episodes viewed between 3/10/2023 and 3/10/2024? If you paid attention to the first video, you'll know this answer. And then how many times did we do a shooting the shit episode? And then, not including holiday shows, how many guests did we interview? And so the last one is, out of the top 20 most watched shows, how many included a guest speaker? So those are the questions that are in this particular quiz. And so we will provide you a link to that quiz, and we're giving until Wednesday for people to fill out that quiz. And then we'll take the top 3 people with the highest score. If for some reason if someone gets all 7 of them and we have a bunch of 7s, then we will do a randomizer and then pick the top 3 people. And then you're welcome to do the quiz just as a fun, even if you don't want to provide some of the information. But in order for us to send you the prize, we do have to get your address so we can then send it to you. So that is a part of the quiz. But if you decide you just want to take the quiz, you can do that without doing that. So
yeah, you can just put in your first name or something.
And so, Kate, I know, you want the beanie.
Yes.
Maria, so I would like to get you guys shirts just as a thank you for joining. So if you can send me your size, or if you don't want a shirt, if you'd rather have a hat, or if you'd rather have, something else, Bruce, let me know.
I'd love a shirt. I'm a large.
You're a large. Perfect.
I'd love a shirt. That would be I'd wear it every day.
That's awesome.
I definitely wear it every Friday.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I love that.
I love it. Well, so I'd like to wrap up today. What do you guys think? Like, final thoughts. Maybe we can go around and do a little bit of a recap of final thoughts. Anything else maybe that you didn't get to say? Maybe, Lori, could we start with you on anything else you just want people to know about as far as your experience, or other things you might want to mention about other ideas or speakers, things like that?
Well, I love the authenticity. It's, as everybody's already said, I love how you just say what needs to be said. And I think, you definitely are serving people well to be willing to talk about and just be open about all those things. As far as, again, I think the mental health, is a big thing. And I think if, to delve into that a little bit more, I think would be a huge service to a lot of people.
Great. Maria, what do you think?
Great. I think it's a lovely time. I'm so glad y'all are doing this. I love the name of the show. And I'm just really excited, really proud, right? And I've had a good time this morning. I'm glad that we had our men represented by Bruce. That was a good one.
Yes.
Good representation there, even if you don't know it yet.
I know. Bruce was like, do you really need me? And I'm like, Bruce, I need you.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Bruce, what are your final thoughts?
I'm really appreciate being asked to be here, and I really enjoyed myself. And just keep doing what you're doing. I think that the attitude that you bring to the show is probably the thing that is most important. And the good things will come from it because of who you are. Both of you decided that you want to do something, and you're courageous enough to follow it. And you're going in places people don't want to go. You're going into the dark, deep recesses of things. And, people need to go there and even want to go there. But there's a part of them that kind of is very fearful. And I think, fear is something that we need to talk about, and you guys talked about it. And you had the greatest show. I mean, maybe not, you know what? That's my favorite show. The fear episode was my favorite, because I think, your thing fell. Oh no.
Yeah, when you do last minute stuff, I guess.
It's Sarah, right? Right? See? There you go. Okay, point taken. Yeah, that's why we pre-plan. But I think that fear is basically something that we have to talk about, but you guys talk about it every week. I mean, vulnerability, fear, there's, I don't know if they're synonyms, but they're close enough. They are, you feel fear when you get vulnerable, and it's how you handle it. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was told that I was fearless, which is not good, and courageous is different. And I think fearless is that you're too stupid to know what you're doing. You guys go with your eyes wide open. You go to those dark, deep recesses with your eyes completely open, and you're afraid, but you're under control.
So Maria says fear leads to hate, hate leads to the dark side.
Maybe.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Bruce. Kate, do you want to give your final thoughts on today?
Yeah. I wanted to. So my final thoughts for today was I'm full of so much gratitude for all of you that joined us, for those that sent videos, for those that we have interviewed. I'm just so appreciative that you have been a part of the movement. I also want to say that I wouldn't, I know I wouldn't be able to do this without my people, my local people, right? My family, my wife, Jenna is my inspiration for everything. She's the person that makes me want to be a better person. She's the person that makes me want to work my ass off in therapy and figure these things out and go without fear into those dark places, like Bruce said, because it makes me a better person, and then I can be a better person for these kids and for my wife. So I just want to thank Jenna for always supporting this effort. I mean, we have a very busy life. We have 6 kids. We have, multiple jobs, all sorts of things happening, homeschooling, and so my only hesitation in the very beginning of this was, can I do this and can I do it well, and after a year, I'm feeling pretty confident that this is here to stay in our life, and it's benefited us. So I appreciate that so much. And then a shout out to my family of origin, to the people that raised me, to my siblings. You've let me be me. You've admired me. You've supported me. I think I was born a badass. I was born fiercely independent, and my parents did a really great job of being, great role models, but also just kind of staying the fuck out of my way and cheering from the sidelines, like, there she goes. And she's always been that way. And they've always just radically accepted who I am and have allowed me to be me, and have shown me absolute unconditional love. So without that unconditional love and the support of Jenna, I wouldn't be able to be this vulnerable. And then lastly, I just need to say a shout out to Sarah, to my fellow badass. I'm so thankful that you came to me, that you had this idea, that you were inspired to do so. I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. I can't imagine being willing to do this with anyone else. And I feel so loved by you and this community. And that's a great fucking feeling. So thank you guys.
I love that. Thank you so much, Kate. I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. And when I asked you, I was like, if Kate doesn't say yes, I don't know who else I'm going to ask. So I'm glad you said yes. It was almost like a proposal in a lot of ways. Like, we have become sort of very, very much intimate partners in this journey together. And this was something that Kate and I were already doing anyways. We just weren't doing it on camera. Like, we were already talking about all of the no topics that people aren't supposed to talk about during work. And so we were already doing that. And I was like,
let's just do this more public.
Yeah. Let's just let others in that want to,
Exactly. Well, I also have a storm rolling in, and I am worried that my electric will go out. So I want to be able to quickly say, one, I want to thank my husband and my daughter. Both of them, my daughter sees that I love working. She said to me, she goes, Mom, she's like, I just don't understand it. You love working. And I'm like, well, that's because I love what I'm doing, because I was working late, putting together these videos, doing these types of things. And I was like, this is what I love. Like, this is, I want to make things, I want people to think outside of the things that they have been thinking all of their lives. I want to help celebrate other people and the things that they're doing, because that's ultimately what it's about, is finding individuals that are being badass and really highlighting them. That's what I found my purpose is one, being able to mirror to people and give people permission to do the things that they think they can't do. But it's also finding those other individuals that are doing it but may not have been shown that they're doing these types of things, and really highlighting them and letting other people know why it is that they got to where it is that they're at. And almost always, every single time I talk to people, it's because of trauma. So the biggest message I want people to understand is that the shit you're going through is because you're meant to be a badass. You're meant to learn something. You're meant to expand upon whatever it is you're learning. And it might be multiple things that you have to go through in order to learn things. That's ultimately what, from this show, that I want people to understand is the reason these people became badass is because of the shit they went through, and they were willing to go through it. And so that ultimately is the message that I want people to take away from the show, why it is that we're doing this. For me, some of the other people that I would love to bring in, and I would love your guys' thoughts, is I want to bring Deborah Lukovich back on. So for you guys, she has been my depth psychologist. I meet with her every other week. I talk to her about my dreams, and I think they would be an amazing show to even talk about some of the dreams that I've had and how it is that some of those dreams were interpreted, just to understand more about how it is that she can also help people. For me, where she goes, I don't have anybody that goes as deep as she does in my life. And that's why I hire her to talk to me, so I can understand more about my unconscious and what it is that it's trying to tell me to be able to live a better and fuller life, and to live the life that I'm meant to live. So I think that she would be a great person for me to be able to bring on, and I would be willing to be vulnerable and show some of the dreams or some of the things that I've had and what it is that was sort of revealed. So and I have some other individuals that I also have on the list. Jen was one of them that I wanted to chat with about bringing on. I also have Daniel Lamb, who was Riley's karate teacher, that I have chatted with about potentially coming on. He's really great about building people up, and especially kids. So if there are people like that you think that are building other people up, are living their authentic life, have gone through things, are willing to be vulnerable, but really talk about the things that they went through and then how it is that they are today, we want to hear about them. So those are really the people that we're wanting. And that's one of the things I love about this show, is that people talk to us about shit they haven't talked to anybody about. And that to me has been the most amazing thing, that Kate and I, for some reason, are individuals that somehow allow people to open up, that they feel comfortable with us, and that they feel they trust us enough to be able to open up and then also share with all of you. That to me has been the most amazing part of this journey.
Yeah, agreed.
And so, Kate, thank you so much for doing this with me. And then lastly, I want to thank everyone. Like, all of you that have come on, everyone that sent us a video, everyone that comes every week, or even if you're not able to come, you watch it afterwards. Just the support that we've seen, people we didn't even know were watching. Thank you for all the the lurkers out there that we don't even know you're watching. Thank you for supporting us along the way. And we're just really looking forward to year 2 and continuing to make it even more badass, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Thank you.
So thank you, Maria. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Lori. And thank you for Renee that came on earlier. And so with that, do you want to end us today and send everyone off, Kate?
Yes. Yeah. I'm just going to say, whatever little milestone you may have in your life, whether it is, doing a live show for a year, or having a really vulnerable moment that you didn't think you were going to have, or, whatever is coming up, celebrate all of your wins. That's what life is about. We only get this one chance to do these things. You're only going to hit that milestone for the first time, that one time. So take a little cue from us, celebrate at all that you can, and go on and be, your badass selves. Go out into the world and spread more badassery.
Thank you. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you next Friday for the results of who wins the quiz. So thank you all.